talk about the Chris Algieri fight. I know when you first made the announcement, you know, there were some people who didn't like the idea of you fighting Chris Algieri, and I think mainly that's because, you know, Kell Brook put the challenge out after his fight, let's fight on June 13th or something like that.
Yeah. Basically, Chris Algieri, I mean, when this same fighter that I'm facing next was fighting Manny Pacquiao, a lot of people thought he was going to beat Manny Pacquiao. He had the skills, he had the talent to beat Manny Pacquiao. I mean, the only fight he's lost is against Manny Pacquiao, who is probably one of the best fighters in the biggest fight in the world, against Floyd Mayweather, who they say is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. That's the only guy who beat him. So, I mean, people can't put him down because he got beat by Manny Pacquiao. He beat the likes of you know, Ruslan Hovotnikov, who just had a good fight against Matisse, who we all know, you know, comes to fight. And in that fight, you know, Algieri was put down twice in the first round. A lot of people thought he wasn't going to make the first round, but then he come and he won the fight.
Right.
So I've been studying a lot of his videos, and you know, he's a good durable fighter. I mean, look, he boxes well, and if you let him settle down, then obviously he's going to try to win the fight. He's got that advantage where the fight's going to be in New York, so obviously it's going to be like home for him. And he knows that, you know, there's a lot for him to improve in this fight. He knows by beating someone like Amir Khan, it'll take him on to bigger fights. Yeah. So there is a lot of pressure on this fight, and obviously there's other fighters I want to face. I think I call it everyone. I call it like Miguel Cotto, I call it Broner.
Well, you started with Floyd. I mean, that's the fight you wanted to begin with.
Mayweather. Exactly, that's the fight I wanted.
And then Manny.
Then Manny Pacquiao.
Right.
Then
Cotto.
Then Miguel Cotto. Then Broner, Adrian Broner.
Now, obviously, obviously, the Floyd and Manny fights didn't happen because they're fighting each other.
And I respect that. Yeah.
And the Cotto fight didn't happen because he signed with Rock Nation and they went in a different direction.
Yeah, and he's fighting somebody else. I don't know who he's fighting, but I think it's K9, is it?
I don't know. No, Daniel Gill. Daniel Gill. Yeah, he's fighting Daniel.
So he's fighting Daniel Gill. So obviously, you know, that's him gone. Then the Broner fight, I thought, you know, it might be a good idea. Broner also called me out and he said, look, I'll fight Amir Khan. But then when it come down to let's get the fight done, it seemed to me he didn't want it, or I don't know if it was his team who didn't want the fight. So it left me with Chris Algieri.
That's four names.
That's four names,
right off the bat. Keith Thurman too. He's not available to fight.
Exactly. So I had to fight before Ramadan. And Ramadan's gonna start mid-June. Now I know in the past I've fought in Ramadan, well, a week or two before Ramadan. But you know what? I remember those times. I was rushing. You know, as soon as the fight's over, 2-3 days later, bang, you're in Ramadan, you're fasting. And I wanna at least 2-3 weeks just chill before I go into Ramadan, because Ramadan is tough, man. It's like a training camp on its own, because obviously you're not eating, you're praying a lot, you're not allowed to drink water, you're fasting to it the whole day. So I really need to give my body a break as well after a tough training camp and a tough fight. I say every fight's a tough fight, regardless it might finish in the first round or it might go the full distance. Every fight is a tough fight. So obviously I didn't want to go into Ramadan or near Ramadan to fight. That's why I had to fight before May. But you know, and then the Kell Brook saying that they would like to fight me in June. Like I said, I can't do June. You know, those fights could happen in the future, but not just yet, obviously. So he left me with Chris Algieri. So I took that fight, and I think he still holds the title at 140.
I think they stripped him. I think they actually stripped him. Well, here's the thing
so this guy is a former world champion. He's been in the ring with like Manny Pacquiao, and he's only had one loss. So look, I can't see this fight as it being an easy fight. It's not a walk in the park for me. It's going to be a tough fight, and especially when someone is, you know, kind of low in his career, where it seems to me he probably feels low because he got beat by Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people thought he had a chance to beat Manny Pacquiao. He's probably going to prove a point in this fight.